back to Insight. Well, we have a new feature we're going to start on Fridays now, Financial Fridays, and we need it. Yes, we definitely do. We have our certified financial planner with us. Casey Weed is from Howard Bailey Financial, and he's going to teach us everything we need to know about money, which in Emily and I's case is, well, a lot. So we were kind of chatting briefly before that really everything boils down to retirement in the end, because that's the whole reason you're investing money and
working.
Yes, exactly, because I would not necessarily get up and come in if I didn't have to. So let's talk about when we're investing that money. What are some better places, or safer, if there is such a thing, places to put our money?
Sure. Well, I think in today's environment, we're looking at a world that retirees are really struggling with safe places to put their retirement funds. It used to be easy back in the 70s or 80s to get 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10% on even a CD. And today that's just hard to find. But there really are safer places to go to get much higher rates of interest than maybe you're getting at the bank, maybe 1/4% in some cases I'm seeing. And if you find an advisor that really specializes in safe money, that specializes in safe places to find a return, then you can find higher rates of return. It's just you have to have somebody that really has the knowledge and the breadth of products available to bring that to the table.
In addition to finding someone who can help you navigate, it's important to have a plan, and you could help me set up my plan from start to finish. I really do.
We all need a plan.
Yeah, step by step, I would like a plan, and that's where you could help me out.
Yeah, and that's what we do. You need to find someone, if you're working with an advisor, that's not just simply a broker, someone that really is going to develop a financial plan for you and make sure all your bases are covered. Because there is so much that goes into the whole retirement planning process, and I think quite often a lot of those things can get left out between taxes and inflation and making your money last long enough, finding safe places, finding growth. It's almost estate planning. There's so much that goes into it that you can't possibly think you can do that on your own. You have to find a team that can help you with that.
Well, you talked about a plan, and obviously a plan is going to change if you're 20 years old or if you're 50 years old. You know, when you make that plan, that's going to maybe decide how much you're conservative or risky, or, you know, how much of your money should you put in that maybe risky or higher return, perhaps, kind of
How much can we risk?
Yes.
Right? How much can we go to Vegas
I may not have any to risk, but if I did, how much can I risk?
Well, there's a rule that maybe you've heard of, maybe you've heard from your financial advisor. There's something called the Rule of 100. And this is basically a rule of thumb that's pretty textbook. It says you take your age, subtract it from 100, and that's how much money you should have at risk. Or if you take your age, that's how much money. You put a percentage behind your age, that should be safe no matter what.
Okay.
Let's say you're 60 years old. If you're 60 years old, then 60% of your money should be in absolutely safe places. But then that's a rule of thumb. Well, what did your parents tell you their real rule of thumb was when it came to risk, or came to going to Vegas?
Don't do it.
Don't.
Yeah, that's what mine said.
Hide it under the mattress.
Yes.
Well, my grandfather said, don't take more than you can afford to lose.
Right.
And I think that's the real rule of risk, and everybody's an individual. So these are good rule of thumbs, but everybody's different.
And again, it's one of those things where if I came to see you and you wrote out a plan for me, we really discussed what it is I make versus want to save, then we can assess a little bit better what type of risk may be smart. Is a risk ever smart? I don't know. But you can help me with all of that.
You're an individual, and you're different than Charity.
Yes, that is for real true. We only have just a minute left, but tell me, rule of thumb, if there is a rule of thumb on how much I should be, what percentage, or how much should I be saving for retirement?
How much should you be saving for retirement? Yeah. Usually the rule of thumb is 10 to 20% of your paycheck. But that's a little bit different for everybody. It depends on how much you want to spend in retirement, what your Social Security is going to be, if you have a pension, which most people don't have pensions anymore. But there's so many different factors that go into that. What's your health care going to be? When do you want to retire? And it really takes a lot of analysis.
Well, I want to retire. I don't know that that's going to happen. Hey, if you have a question, you can send an email to info@howardbailey.com. We may answer it on a future segment. That email address is on the screen there. He will be back next Friday and every Friday to help Emily and I and you with some financial matters. We'll be right back on Insight.